Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2013 NFC Wildcard Playoff Preview presented by Fair Market Fantasy between the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the 49ers. Versus the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers will have to be able to run the football. And I'm going to show you how they can run the power out of the spread set versus that 3-4 defense of the Packers. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. We're widening the field and keeping it concentrated on the box. So that's why we have those receivers split out wide. Let's put the numbers here. You have one receiver at the bottom of the numbers, and this guy is on the hash mark. So you're widening out that defense, trying to keep it focus on the box, and we're going to run the power out of the spread, which means we're going to pull the tackle and we're going to pull the guard. So how we're going to block this 5 technique, as the cadence starts to wind down, you're going to put this guy in motion, boom, and his job is to block this 5 technique. So now we're going to have the center block the nose, big on big right here, tackle, guard is going to block this defensive tackle. We're going to have the tight end, the tackle, work up to the inside linebacker. Why? Because the guard is kicking out this outside backer here. We're going to have the tackle leading around, up, counter step. Colin Kaepernick opens out, hands the football off. Frank Gore follows the tackle around, hopefully running to daylight. So that's how, out of the spread set, you can pull your backside guard and your backside tackle, get them coming around front side and running the power play out of the spread. And if they're able to run this power play exactly like this, I think they can have some success in generating a big play on the ground with Frank Gore and just open things up later on in the game for their play action passing game. This week versus San Francisco, Green Bay has to be able to get pressure on Colin Kaepernick and that running game, and I'm going to show you how. Going with an under front and a zone blitz with playing cover 3 behind it puts them in great position to accomplish both with one pressure. Let me show you what I'm talking about in this defense. Under front, we have the nose tackle shaded to the strong side. What we're going to do, we're going to get double A-gap pressure. So we're going to have him cross face of the center into the weak side A-gap. We're going to have this 5 technique cross face of the guard into the strong side A-gap. So you're getting double A-gap pressure. Interior pressure kills any mobile quarterback because they want to bounce it outside. So naturally you have to play contain, which is why we have the outside linebacker shooting on the outside, playing contain to normally his tendencies. He's a right-handed quarterback. 9 times out of 10 he wants to break contain to where his arm is. So he's going to break contain to the right. That's why you have a contain blitzer over here. Now we're going to drop this outside linebacker back into this zone area here. We're going to have this inside backer push through the tackle, trying to get that penetration as well. So he's pushing through the tackle, trying to create that mosh posh at the line of scrimmage. And what we're doing with this defensive tackle here, his job is to clearly push through his lineman. Again, getting interior pressure. Cover 3 on the back end. Have the safety playing the flat area, and we have in this outside linebacker that's already in the flat area holding court. So that's how they can get pressure on the running game. Also in the passing game by sending an outside backer to try to influence Colin Kaepernick to throw the football quickly. Hopefully here with the linebackers dropping back into coverage, and you have everyone's covering their responsibilities in the basic cover 3 defense. So again, if Green Bay is able to have a lot of success in getting pressure on Colin Kaepernick, it puts them in better position to stop in the running game. And it also puts San Francisco in 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations where they can be better effective in getting pressure on that offense. This week versus the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers have to be able to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to show you a weak side blitz by utilizing 2 linebackers to get that pressure while still being protected on the back end in coverage with cover 3. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Now what we have, spread set trips to the left. If you're facing from the defensive perspective, you have trips left. And how can we get pressure weak side? Well, let me explain how we can do that. What we're going to do, we're going to have your backer split the middle slot and the guy closest to the line of scrimmage, and he's just dropping back into his curl responsibilities, just sitting right here in the zone. He's going to try to take away the quick pass, try to get a hand on the football to try to create a turnover or any type of disruption to the play. And what we're doing here, everyone is dropping back in their cover 3. Cover 3, we're going to send now the strong safety in the middle of the field. So you have everyone responsible for the deep third dropping back into their coverage, because the free safety, his job is to get into that flat right there. And we're going to send both of these backers on a blitz. We're going to send the outside backer, he's going on a quick blitz. We're going to send the middle backer looping around. So now you have your regular blitzer and you have your contained blitzer that could peel off if this back releases. His job is to peel off his blitz. Otherwise, he's going as well. So you're getting weak side pressure. Now we're going to run a little zone blitz concept on the front side. We're going to have the outside linebacker here loop around, get pressure on the outside, putting the speed on the edges to try to better combat Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to have the 5 technique drop back into this hook zone right here. Now we're going to take the nose tackle. We're going to bring him across the face of the guard into this gap. So you see where we're trying to attack. We're trying to get a lot of pressure here. We're sending the 5 technique inside. So you're getting 3 guys getting pressure weak side, 2 guys getting pressure strong side, and we're dropping the tackle back into this hook zone. And we have the curl zone right here protected by this outside backer, splitting the 2 guys in the trip. So this is how they can effectively get pressure weak side on Aaron Rodgers while still being protected by cover 3 on the back. And if they're able to do that and get off the field, they can have a lot of success this week versus the Green Bay Packers. This week versus the San Francisco 49ers, you look at the Green Bay Packers passing game, and Aaron Rodgers can have some success with 3 reads on one side of the football field. I'm going to show you how they can read the strong safety and be able to pick and choose where he wants to go with the football out of the trips formation. So you see what we have here, half line. We're just going to focus on where the trips are. We're going to read the strong safety. His job, 3 reads, 1 play. So what we're going to do to take advantage of this guy, because that's who we're going to throw off of, we're going to run the outside guy on a quick slant. Boom, let me get a better marker here. We're going to run the outside guy on a quick slant. So that is one route. Second, we're going to send the middle guy up the seam. He's running straight up the seam, hopefully trying to take this free safety out as well. And we're running the inside guy on the speed out. So you see where we're confusing the defense. So now Aaron Rodgers has 3 reads, all within his vision. He can drop back and pick and choose and utilize his eyes to move this strong safety out of the way. If this guy buzzes underneath this slant, now you have the speed out available. If this guy closes down on the speed out and you have this guy here sitting, waiting to make a play, or the strong safety is riding the seam, then you have the quick slant in this window. So again, being able to make 3 reads on one side of the field by just influencing one player could lead Green Bay to success this week versus San Francisco. So again, watching that side, watching the free safety, moving him with your eyes will give you a better idea of where you want to go with the football and generating a big play in a passing game.
Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For San Francisco, they're going to need rookie wide receiver Quentin Patton to play some big-time ball this game versus Green Bay, as I'm pretty sure the focus will be on Crabtree, Bolden, and even the tight end Vernon Davis, so Patton has to win that individual matchup in order for this passing game to have success. And on the defensive side of the football, look at defensive end Justin Smith having to be disruptive. He has to be disruptive enough to where he draws a double team to free up a one-on-one opportunity for someone else along that defensive front 7. And the secondary has to be aggressive without being costly. You can get aggressive and physical with those wide receivers of Green Bay, but you have to understand where you are on the field, because illegal contact is a 5-yard penalty, but it's an automatic first down, and you can't have those big chunk penalties like pass interference penalties deep down the field. So you have to be aggressive, but you have to be aware where you are on the field. And for Green Bay in this ball game, running off tackle could be key. You want to calm the pressure of those outside edge rushers of San Francisco by running right at it, and they do a great job of running off tackle. So I think Eddie Lacy could be in store for a big day. And I believe the Packers have to play with an up-tempo style versus San Francisco. I think when they go no huddle, hurry up, I think that causes problems for that 49ers defense. They can't adjust properly. So if they go with that up-tempo style throughout the course of the game, almost as if they're going to play the entire game with their 4-minute offense or 2-minute offense, I think they can have a lot of success this game. And if the Packers are going to send extra at Colin Kaepernick, I believe that extra blitzer has to be a defensive back, whether it's a cornerback, a free safety, or a strong safety. I believe they have to come off the edge with speed in order to flush Kaepernick outside of the pocket, so that way they can bottle him up near the sideline and make the play. The X factor in this ball game for San Francisco will be Colin Kaepernick's running ability. Think back to week 1. He didn't run as much versus the Green Bay Packers, and that's what they prepared for. Now, the second time they face this team this season, I think it's time to unleash his athletic ability and allow him to run a little bit more. So look for a little bit more read option plays called where Kaepernick will keep it in order to have some success. The X factor for the Packers will be return specialist Micah Hyde. If he can flip field position and give that offense a short field to work with, I think that could go well for the Packers trying to win this ball game at home. This guy is that type of playmaker, and I think he can have a huge impact on the outcome of this ball game. Now here's some in-game adjustments you want to watch for in this ball game for San Francisco. Going multiple with their defensive front to stop the run, whether or not they stay in a traditional 3-4 set or maybe go to an over front or even a bear front, but they have to stop the run. I think the way they can do so is getting multiple with how they align themselves. And the red zone offensive approach will be key. Remember, like I've said before, they didn't utilize Colin Kaepernick's running ability in the first matchup at all. I think this is the opportunity they can get that done, and it has to happen in the red zone because they will have to come away with touchdowns instead of field goals. And those nickel and dime corners in coverage will be key. The Packers love to spread the field with multiple personnel. If they go 4 wide, sometimes empty, those guys in the slot will have to win big. Otherwise, this defense can struggle as a whole. For the Packers, just the overall scheme and game plan adjustments. Remember, this is the 4th time in 2 years they've played this 49ers football team. So I'm pretty sure they have a really good grasp on what the 49ers can and can't do. So it's always good to see what adjustments they've made over the previous meeting. And Dom Capers' creativity will be key. He's going to have to find creative ways to stop Colin Kaepernick, as well as stopping the power running game of San Francisco, while also putting pressure on those receivers to make plays. So I think his biggest game will be this one versus the San Francisco 49ers. So keep an eye on Dom Capers' creativity. And you also want to keep an eye on Mike McCarthy's run-pass ratio. He has a very good running game right now with Eddie Lacy and James Starks. Does he lean on that running game a little bit more because of the weather situation right now in Green Bay? Or will it be business as usual as Aaron Rodgers will throw the football 35 to 40 times? His run-pass ratio could determine the outcome of this ballgame, as balance will be the key. In the 1999 wildcard playoff matchup, the 49ers took on the Green Bay Packers, and this was after 3 straight losses to Green Bay. The 49ers finally got off the schneid as Steve Young found Terrell Owens, who was having a terrible day catching the football, in the end zone for the game winner as they went on to knock off Green Bay and move on to the next round, 30-27. In the 1997 divisional playoffs, the Green Bay Packers once again took on the San Francisco 49ers, and Desmond Howard had an awesome day, returning a punt 71 yards for a touchdown and also setting up another touchdown with a 46-yard return, and it jumped out to a 21-0 lead en route to a 35-14 blowout. I like San Francisco in this ballgame. The one aspect that has changed from this matchup in the first week has been the receiving core of San Francisco. I think they've gotten better. I think they're right now hitting their stride. And on the defensive side of the football, I think they'll do a great job in applying pressure on Aaron Rodgers in this passing game. And I do believe the weather will play a huge factor on both teams' passing attacks. So who can stop the run? Which defense can you trust to get that key stop? And you have to go with San Francisco in both aspects. So I like the 49ers to move on to the divisional round. And I also want to give a huge shout out to 49er fan forums and Packer fan forums for always showing football game plan support. And just because the regular season has ended doesn't mean you have to stop playing fantasy football. Thanks to our friends at Fair Market Fantasy for their 2014 NFL playoff promotion. You can visit the website at fairmarketfantasy.com to sign up.